8:20, Big 550 KTRS. Gail Pennington is with us. She is TV critic extraordinaire for the hometown newspaper, the STLTODAY.com. Good morning, Gail Pennington.
Good morning, McGraw Millhaven.
You excited for the big
you
fall?
You forget the name of the Post-Dispatch sometimes.
I should what?
I said you forget the name of the Post-Dispatch.
Well, I always get confused, STLTODAY.com, and then I always have to hit the emphasis on the second syllable. So I always get a little rattled there, too. Right?
Oh, okay.
So because it's a St. Louis Post dispatch.
No, dispatch,
right.
That's why you're not saying it, because we've harassed you so much about pronouncing it wrong.
Well, and I also stutter on the dis part. Dispatch is a hard word for me to say, so I butcher it that way, too.
Oh, here, I've got something for you.
Yes.
Call it the PD.
The PD?
Yeah. Does that work for you?
That works for me.
Okay, good.
So is that acceptable?
PD.
Since I'm kind of part of the club, I can
Well,
call it the
you
PD?
are, kind of.
Yeah. I'm on the outskirts.
You're
but
an auxiliary member of the club.
I mean, I'm in the lunchroom. No one's sitting with me during lunch, but I'm at least in the lunchroom.
You have never come to the Weatherbird Cafe for lunch, and I just want to take this opportunity to invite you right now.
Hey, well, that's interesting because I'd love to, but they actually, to get into the building, I have to hand over my firstborn, my mortgage, my all my credit cards, and they scan me, and I have to be carted around with somebody.
I'm considered trustworthy, and I would come down to get you.
Well, the other thing too is like you can't leave either. They have to escort you out of the building every time I leave.
That's true. Oh, you know the drill.
They're like, "Can you take them outside?" I'm like, "I can go outside." Nope. Somebody has to walk you outside. I was like, "All right." Anyway, speaking of food, tell me about Bizarre Foods America.
Oh, have you seen this show?
I have not seen this show.
A guy named Andrew Zimmern, and he likes to eat the weirdest stuff that he can find. And his first show was Bizarre Foods, and he went all over the world eating unimaginable horrors. And now his second show is Bizarre Foods America, and he came to St. Louis last March for 6 days. And you say to yourself, well, what do we have here that's weird food?
Correct.
We have Provel cheese, but, that isn't considered entirely strange.
Right.
A little bit strange. But he found some odd things. He found something I'm very interested in seeing where he got it, which is a dessert made with organ meats and caramel sauce. Organ meats and caramel sauce? I know. Doesn't that just make you not want to have lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the gringo that serves, was it grasshoppers?
I don't know that he went there. Yeah. I've heard that he went to Farmhouse. He had pig heart pastrami at Farmhouse.
Interesting. All right. When is this show on?
That is on Monday night.
So it's on tonight?
Tonight at 8 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
On the Travel Channel?
On the Travel Channel.
All right, good. All right. Now, do they still have the big fall kickoff previews week and all that stuff?
It's the third week in September, but to get everybody ready, I have my big fall preview stories coming this Sunday, so I worked on it all weekend. It's going to be awesome.
Of course, it's awesome. Any spoilers for us? Give us a little hint of what we're going to see.
Well, there are a couple of things I like. I like one comedy.
Okay, out of 720.
It's called Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it's on Fox. It's about it's a sort of a modern, Barney Miller kind of police story hybrid thing. It stars Andy Samberg,
who's very funny.
He's very funny, and he's very funny in this because he's zany, but he plays a guy who's a really good cop, so he does really good police work while being crazy. So it's from the people who make Parks and Recreation, which is my favorite show.
So it's a real cop show, but it's just got a lot of comedy involved in it.
They solve actual cases, and they're kind of crazy cases, but he and one of his colleagues have a big competition going to see who can solve the most cases. So they're very fervent in their police work, which makes it better than if they were just goofy slackers. And this is when? When is this on? It's I have no dates in my head, but this is going to be beginning in September on Fox.
On Fox. Now, why wouldn't that sounds like a really good show? Why wouldn't NBC pick that up? Because Andy Samberg is an NBC guy.
And the producer's other show is also on NBC.
Right.
But I think they targeted this more to Fox because the Fox audience is younger.
Right.
And it's a little more male, and I think they think this will have appeal for those. And, young men watch much less TV than any other group, and so that's why everything's targeted at them, which doesn't make any sense, except advertisers are trying to bring in young men.
Mm-hmm. That's a whole other issue. All right, so Brooklyn Nine-Nine, look for it on CBS.
Fox.
Fox. Can you tell us anything about Glee?
Glee starts the 16th of September. It's going to have 3 episodes before they take a break for postseason baseball.
When is the Corey Monteith?
Well, I understand it's the 3rd episode. It's not official, but the 3rd episode, I think, is the one. And I don't have any details about what they're going to do. They said that Finn will not necessarily die of a drug overdose.
They do say, though, that they say it'll be very emotional.
Yes, and that they're going to use this as a platform to talk about drug abuse and getting help.
Right, interesting. All right, so that's good. What else should we...
I predict that we're going to need a lot of Kleenex.
I have a feeling that's going to be... I mean, they are really good at tugging at heartstrings normally.
Well, Leah Michelle tweeted a picture of herself wearing a necklace that said Finn.
Right.
And that apparently was from the episode because in real life she has one that says Corey.
Right, and others have commented that, this is going to be a tearjerker from start to finish. So, all right, we'll look for that. Anything else we should pay attention to?
PBS has a great hour on the March on Washington Tuesday night, looking back at what people were thinking at the time.
I read something.
It's the 50th anniversary.
Did you see where the Washington Post apologized 50 years later for saying we got the coverage wrong?
No, but if you saw the Meet the Press that NBC repeated yesterday, it was the Meet the Press from the weekend of the March on Washington.
Really?
Yeah, the people who were doing the interviews with Martin Luther King were very skeptical of the whole thing.
I would love to see that. I got to go back and check that out.
They're probably streaming it. I'm not sure, but they probably are.
The Washington Post said that they had 6 or 7 stories, none of which covered the dream speech, and only one story quoted the line, "I have a dream," and it was buried in the copy somewhere. So they sort of missed the whole mark on it. It was pretty interesting stuff.
Perspective is really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. So I look forward to that. That's tomorrow night on PBS. I kind of want to see this Patrick Dempsey thing about him racing.
He's very, very serious about auto racing, and he kind of laughs about, do his insurance companies, or are they really? He had to take out self-insurance to be able to do this. But starting Wednesday on the Velocity channel, which everybody probably has, you're just going to have to look for it. It's called Patrick Dempsey Racing Le Mans, and it's a 4-part series about him preparing to race in the 24 hours of Le Mans.
I think that
auto race.
I actually think that'd be kind of interesting to watch.
Paul Newman raced in that.
Oh, there you go. All right.
In his day. Of course, Patrick Dempsey's no Paul Newman.
That is true. That's the truest thing you ever said. Patrick Dempsey is no Paul Newman.
Right.
Gail Pennington, when can we look for your big fall TV preview?
That is in the Sunday A&E section of the Post-Dispatch.
Yes.
And people are going to need to buy the paper because there's lots of clip and save stuff. There's a big schedule grid of the whole new season, and there are not just premiere dates, but a whole list of season premiere dates for returning shows.
Why don't you just call it PD in the PD?
I can pronounce Dispatch.
Oh, okay, all right, good. That's Gail Pennington from the PD, also online at STLTODAY.com. Gail, have a good week.
You too.
You got it. 8:30, Big 550, KTRS.